All right, folks. No music introduction this morning. I was trying to set up the NostrNest feed over here. I think I have it worked out right. I'm not sure, but I think I do. Well, I'm glad to see you guys. Let me try something over here. Forgive me for just a minute while I look off to the side. I hate doing that. I still tinkering. I like the idea of the Noster nest. I really do. I don't know how well things are working with me doing that though. I tried it last week. I forget which day. Good morning, Mike. How are you? Wanted to make sure that I have the right screen shared. It's good to see you, Mike. I haven't seen you for a while. You been all right down there? Keeping the South Seas free of alien invasion. Iris. I have Iris open as well, but I think I'm going to close it. I don't see the. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Let me do this. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, it's there. It's on the page, on the NostrNests page. If you go to NostrNests, there's an S at the end of nest. Nests. NostrNests. NostrNests. So we're there. Yay. Yay. I really like to see that. Hang on a second. Let me do this. Then I'm going to close it because I don't have too many resources. I'll blow up my laptop. I think I know what happened last week when I had the issue of it locking up on me. I think I had a couple things going on. I had iTunes trying to update in the background, plus OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive was open, and that thing drives me crazy. I thought I had it stopped from doing that, but apparently I didn't. So just got back to town, then power interruptions. Oh, where you been? You been traveling, or was you out at the store or something? Mike, Philippine nomad. You guys be sure and say hey so I can know you're there. Oh wait, where'd my screen go? That's not the screen I want to see. I want to see. Why can't I see the screen I want to see? Where'd it go? Oh no, it closed it. Oh, it didn't. Oh no, it's here. Oh, wrong tab. Robin. Getting all wound up about. There we go. That's what. Well, no. I want to see this by itself. I'm going to have to do it that way then. Sorry, guys. I'll get it worked out. Every time I start to get the software and programs and stuff worked out, somebody goes and changes it on me. All right. Well, glad to have you here. This is episode 61 of the Holstein House podcast. Today, I hope to be able to get through and talk to everybody a little bit about the container garden, my little container garden, duckling countdown, not too long, some Airbnb, Nostr, NostrNests, Bitcoin building reservations, and just generic stuff like that. This is the 61st episode of the Holstein House podcast. Broadcasting on YouTube, Fountain FM, Apple Podcasts, Google, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, iHeart, Listen, and trying to regularly post on NostrNests. So we'll see how that goes for a while. I hope you will click the thumbs up, boost, zap, subscribe, and share, and all of those independent little uh, activities for each of the clients that are out there that you can use and share with your friends and followers. Um, if you participate in the value for value exchange and anything I say in this podcast or the broadcast is of value to you, or you find it funny, or you think it's just good information, I hope you express that. And whether it's zaps or likes or boosts or whatever program you're using that offers that opportunity to share and do so that. Well, so in some of these, I'm not monetized on YouTube, and Fountain FM takes a cut. But if I were monetized on YouTube, I think it's about 40 or 50% of whatever you might share there goes to them. So if you want to work around that middleman, let's use the Lightning Network and just zap, and the fees will be almost nothing. And so as I get started, I'm gonna tell you another headache. Um, I pretty much decided it's this medication he's got me on. It's a high-powered water pill or diuretic. It's called bumet bumetanide, bumetanide. And of course, it's stronger than Lasix. And one of the things it does is it sucks your potassium, it sucks your electrolytes out, and it flushes them down the toilet, literally. And so some of the things that's been bothering me, I've been taking it about 2 weeks now, and it has helped the issue. The doctor says I've got lymphedema. It's been helping, but it's killing me, and I'm gonna have to call him and talk to him some more. I did have some blood work drawn last week to check, and I haven't heard from them yet, but I just keep a headache. I'm so tired all the time. I am taking a potassium supplement, so and a prescription potassium supplement, not just over the counter. So I don't know if that's it or not, but it's just absolutely exhausting, and the headaches and the fatigue after I go. I usually take it about mid morning, unless I have some errands in town, and then I either have to take it early morning or later in the evening. And the window of time that it absolutely bothers me the most, I kind of got the feel for that after I take it. I know it's going to be a couple hours that I'm really going to be having to stay close to the restroom. But this fatigue, I was feeling so bad yesterday. I had class last night and I completely forgot. And I didn't get the coursework done. And I didn't get the coursework done because I haven't been able to focus well enough to do that. And I keep thinking, oh, well, class is Tuesday. Well, no, class was Monday. Class was Monday. So I didn't get it done. And I apologized to the instructor and just mentioned it's a stupid Zoom class nobody likes. Visiting in-laws in the metro for birthdays and anniversary celebrations. Ooh, that's always fun. Birthdays. We gotta love birthdays. But yeah, it's just really, I don't like to take stuff that weirds out my thought processes. My thought processes are weird enough the way they are. And I have enough challenges. I don't need to be struggling to remember stuff. I really don't. And this is bothering me. Now, this is Tuesday. I might try adding some electrolytes to the water that I usually drink and stuff, but and see if that helps a little bit. If it helps a little bit, then I may pursue that more. But it's just I don't like. I know when I feel good, and this is not when I feel. I'm not feeling good. But so please, bear with me as I deal with this. And there's some other stuff going on. Not bad, just a lot of stuff. So it just keeps me thrown. And I haven't really settled down into a rhythm with the podcasts. I mean, I've got the Tuesday, Friday thing down pretty well, but as far as the flow of the broadcast, I don't really have that down very well yet. So, and it might be just that I'm trying to do, not that I'm unique at it. I don't mean that at all, but I'm trying to do too much of it. So some people have somebody that helps them out with it, and I don't. So, not a complaint, just an observation. So with that, let's get started here. Let's talk. Was fussing about not having a housekeeper. Like you're not old enough to remember an old TV show called Hazel. That was a hysterical show. I watched it in reruns as a kid. Well, not a kid, like I was a young teen, early adolescence, and they had reruns on, and we'd watch it. And it was always kind of funny. I don't have a housekeeper every day. She's going to come in once a week and basically clean, tidy up a little bit. For a couple hours. And you'd be surprised what freeing up a couple of hours a week can do for you when you've got a lot going on. And she's going to be fine. She's going to be fine if she sticks it out. She's been here twice now, not counting the day she came over and looked around. This is not the first person that we talked about here a while back. This is the lady from my church. And she's very, very nice lady. And she did better yesterday. She came in yesterday and she did better. She didn't holler at me as much to ask me questions. She just took off and did what she needed to do. She did have a couple questions, and the steamer ran out of water, which is odd because I don't use it like that. So she must have had it on high. But I may mention just kind of casually again that I usually keep it on low unless I'm steaming in the bathroom, and then it goes on high because there's not that much. It's just to clean. The bathroom is to. Obviously, there's more germs and stuff in the bathroom. We all understand that. So I don't have to go into that. But that's why, just in the bathrooms where I keep it on high. I think she may have had it on high the whole time because it used the whole tank, which is not that big, but I never used the whole tank. But I think she's going to do just fine. I think she's going to do just fine. Hey, do you have an the HVAC system that uses an air filtration? Ours has I don't know what size, I can't tell you what size, but it's a pretty good size filter, and it needs to be changed on a regular basis. I am usually fairly good about changing them with the seasons. So spring, I change it. Then when we have the summer solstice, I change it. Then the autumnal equinox, and then winter. You get the idea there. So about every 3 months, I'm changing those filters. It probably could use it more than every 3 months, but that's kind of a happy medium. So I forgot I forgot to do it a couple weeks back when it was the spring equinox, and we had a situation which is not related to the filter, except that it was part of the HVAC system. I come down yesterday evening before class. I was still thinking that class was on Tuesday, and I was coming down to get some things and do some laundry and stuff. And there's water in the floor again, and I knew it wasn't the um, the hot water tank, and it hadn't rained. There's a reason that this basement is unfinished, and that's another one of them. But the HVAC drain, the condensation drain, is actually in the basement. It's not outside. So there's a drain tube, and it goes down to the drain that the washer, drains into. And apparently it's clogged up. I don't know, spiders and snakes or whatever down in there. It's not big enough for snakes, but something has clogged it up since it hasn't run last fall, and so it had backed up in the tube. The condensation yesterday had backed up in the tube. I don't know where it was coming out, but it was coming out somewhere that it was running across the top of the heating system. You'd have to see how it's done. So you've got the heating unit here, and then outside there's a window, a basement window here, and outside that basement window is the air conditioning unit. And so then it comes back into the house, and then the condensation drains. I don't get all of it, but it was running out. So I went up and told Mr. Holstein, I said, We have a mess in the basement. And of course, he got all flustered because that's what you do. Oh my gosh, here we go. So he came down and I don't know what he did. Oh yeah, I do know what he did. He has a little small air compressor. I don't know, it's like what, 3 pounds or something. It's only about yay big. And he got it, and I don't know how you reach it, but because he does that stuff, not me, but he got in somewhere to get to the drain, and he condensation drain, and he shot some air through there, and that solved the problem. So there was something clogging up that drain line, and I think it's just not steep enough so that stuff builds up in there. But so that had that, and that reminded me as I was cleaning up around the system there. Oh, I haven't changed the air filter. I need to do that. So cracked that box open and took the other one out, and it's just as nasty. They're awful to look at, folks. You should really, at least once or twice a year, do these yourself. Change the filters in your stuff yourself so that you actually see how nasty things are. Now, granted, our unfinished basement does not help, but it's still gross. And then I have little vent filters in the vents, not because I'm filtering the air coming up out of the HVAC back into the house, but because dogs, cats, and people walk across those vents and little stuff will drop down there, and those vent filters help keep some of that trash out of there. So it's always fun. We're always learning things around here at the Holstein House. So, have you changed your filters? Not just on your HVAC, but if you have window unit filters, have you changed those? Have you cleaned? Now, we talked last time about cleaning your fan blades. Make sure you get those fan blades clean too. Make sure you adjust the direction. We talked about that last time too. So I got that taken care of, and Mr. Holstein, he has returned from Indiana. He'd been out working in Indiana for a while. When his return, one of the things he has decided is he wants to cut out grains from his diet or cut them to almost nothing. So here I am learning and trying to work on sourdough, um, you know, homemade bread and all this stuff. And now he wants to cut that all. I've got the grains, I've got the wheat berries, I've got all this stuff, and now he wants to cut the grains out. And it's fine. It's not that big I mean, it's a deal, but it's not that big a deal. So I thought, okay, I need to this could be a good plan because there's a lot of folks cutting back on grains, a lot of folks going keto and keto light and carnivore and stuff. And if I could offer my direct book guests some alternative breakfast foods, homemade keto toast, homemade keto muffins, you know, if I can get those down to where they're actually that I can actually turn them out in a short period of time and they taste decent, maybe the jelly's made with stevia instead of white sugar, you know, maybe I could do this. So I checked, I come across, I've made those the breads like from flaxseed and coconut flour and all this stuff, and usually they're very heavily reliant on eggs. And the eggs, the cooking of the eggs create the lift and the volume a lot of times. I mean, you do add some baking powder and you do add some baking soda. Um, so my three sons, Brady Bunch, Family Affairs, Newhart, Courtship of Eddie. I didn't scroll that down very good, um, Mike. So I didn't see that. But hey, Seth, I see you over there. I think you're over there, over on the Nostr. Glad to see you over there. I'm not real good at switching the screens, and I don't have one of those big curvy, fancy setups like a lot of people do. So, um, I'm sorry I didn't see you sneak in there, but you know, you can chime in anytime you like. Just let me know. Oh, hey, I don't my screen. I know what that little thing is because you guys told me that little thing is the hug emoji, and on this machine, it just comes up with the rectangle. So yeah, that's how that is. You and Josh taught me that one. I remember. I may be elephant slow, but I remember. So, the keto breads and the, low carb breads and stuff that, I made before are heavily dependent on eggs. So I that just to me, there was a flavor that now I like eggs, don't get me wrong, but there was just the flavor I don't want in a bread-like thing. And so I'm gonna do some more studying, but I did come across a lady, from India who had a YouTube channel up. She was making a flaxseed bread, and it looked really good. Of course, she's perfected this. She's been doing it for a while. And it was, flaxseed and, oh, what was the other one? Darn it, I didn't have it. I had to substitute for it. It was, mm, psyllium, husk, flaxseed and psyllium husk and some eggs and some baking soda and some other things, and it looked like it turned out really well. I mean, she obviously, like I said, she's been making it for a long time, and she even admits that she went through and she's had a channel on for several years. This actual video was a little over a year old. Low carb keto, well, eh, Mike, I we did a low carb a long time ago, Wayne and I did, and a lot of this stuff, um, you were cutting out the grains, and so no rice flour, no wheat flour, no oat flour, so you're going to seed flours, and it was just we really didn't end up doing it too long. So, you can low carb and not be keto. It's just different varying degrees of stuff, really. But I made this. I didn't have the psyllium husk, and I was checking, and you could substitute xanthium gum for that, and so I did that. Well, I don't know if that was it, but man, that did not come out good at all. That was some really gross stuff. Um, it was heavily flaxseed, and it had a mouthfeel of mineral oil. It was just gross. And, I think I overfilled the pans. When you do these type of, they're not I don't even call them breads. I mean, people like to call them bread, but they're not breads. But when you do these type of bread substitute things, It it's it's just, it can just really be you really have to work on it, and the flavors and the mouthfeel and the things are just sometimes really nasty, and that turned and it was so dark from the, flaxseed, which isn't an initial turnoff except that it's really heavy, they don't raise really well, you have to if you don't put them in a traditional loaf pan, I mean, there's a lot of variations to it. And that one just they didn't really get done in the middle. They were really wet in the middle, and I'm like, "No, this is not gonna work." So that was a big flop. I'm not gonna give up on it. So I will continue to, try to sort one out so that, my direct book guests, I can offer a package for, um because you wanna provide them breakfast, and I'm not gonna I don't wanna get into a full English fry-up type breakfast, you know? Yeah, it is. Mike, it is hard to replace the consistency of gluten. It really is, and that's why I like sourdough because there are a lot of benefits to the sourdough process, the souring process, the starter process. It's breaking down a lot of that, but you still get the benefit from it. But this was just not it. I still I want to be able to provide the light breakfast. Now I do offer the fried mush, but that's a grain. Polenta, I think you would know it by, Mike. Fried in butter with a couple slices of bacon. That I'm good with, or a couple patties of sausage. That I'm good with, but I do not wanna get into big breakfasts of fry-ups and pancakes and stuff like that. That's not where I'm at. But I do think that if I can offer this alternative, if I can perfect a couple of alternative breads, alternative muffins. If I can get the bread process down, I've got little muffin rings that I can make, I can make muffins, it's no big deal. Like English muffin style, the little flat round ones, not the ones like you put in the muffin tins and make them with the big top on it, but, if I can perfect a couple of those, I think that will be a good option for some of our direct book guests. But, yeah, I haven't found it yet. And coconut is so I have actually have a freezer full I have a deep freezer full of different flours from when I was trying this before because flour on its own will go rancid, but you can extend that by keeping it in a freezer. And, I have one where I was working with that before, and then we kind of fell back to, traditional breads and yummy yeast rolls and all those yummy, yummy things that you get when you make food from real flour and real yeast and stuff that everybody wants to get rid of nowadays. So I'm gonna try to do that. I know you 2 guys are probably not into this, but if folks who may watch or listen to the replay of this, and Seth, I'd really like to know if they ever got the recording. I don't know that that there was a recording option for me here today, but if there is one, I'd like to get a hold of that and figure out how to use that on the NostrNest. Let me see. Invite to stage. Yay, there you go. Try it now, Seth. I did it. I did it the first time. Yay. Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, the little cog. Okay, I see that now. Okay, so if I hit it now, it will start now, obviously. Okay, so I'm gonna try that and see what okay, I see the little red, thing up there now. So and now it shows a stop room record. Okay. Now, tell me, the stream audio and the start podcast recording, are these do you link to your like I usually, upload to Podbean. Do you link to Podbean or mhm, okay. Hmm, and I don't wanna do it now, but I've gotta play with this a little more to learn how because you guys told me to, claim my, name on here, and I haven't done that yet because I don't remember how you guys told me to do it. It's just some of the stuff that I have to, walk through while I'm doing it or I won't remember, and I'm gonna need to do that, so that I can claim it, and I remember Josh saying that he set it so that a forwarding on his website, and I know what he's talking about, the automatic forwarding there goes automatically to, I guess, the name that or the s the one that the name that on Nostr Nest that he saved, his nest that he saved. So mhm, mhm, okay, okay. Now, before or after you start the so right, yeah, okay. Yeah, I do need to spend some more time with it, and everything needs more time, and we've got ducks coming, so ducklings, maybe, still not sure. Might be able to nest some duds. Maybe. maybe. No, we don't know. I mean, you can go out and you can candle them, but I'm not gonna fool with it. I'm gonna leave her alone. Okay, so edit profile, leave stage, stream audio, stop recording, start podcast recording, and cancel. I'm just go. If I hit cancel, it won't stop the recording, right? I have to hit stop recording. Cancel just takes me out of that window. Okay. All right. Yay. Got that. I'm gonna try that and see how that works. I know, I know. I'll end up with 85,000 recordings of the same thing. Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun if I can get the hang of that. I know the other guys are doing real well with it, so yeah, I'm jealous of them, but they have more time for it than I do. Yeah, well, it's the doldrums of the doldrums, but the winter's over and life's perking back up and people have things to do and stuff. It's just the way it is. All righty. Well, I'm going to move on with this. I wanted to, invite you guys if you have a recipe for some of the grain-free breads. I'd love you to share them if you've worked them out and they work well. Then, because I never really got it quite the way I like it, and maybe it's one of those things where you don't actually ever really like it. You just eat it because it's better for you. I'm not that good of a person. I'll end up falling back to the really good stuff. So, the stuff that you're not supposed to have too much of. And I like it anyway. I like to cook. I like to make things the more old style. I like to make a homemade custard instead of a store bought, custard or a box mix custard. And that takes a lot of work because it takes a lot of eggs but it's so good. It's just so delicious. So but yeah, if any of you guys either listening to this live or listening to it on replay have a recipe for a good grain-free bread substitute, share it with me if you don't mind. I'd like to give it a try. So I wanted to remind some of you guys that I do have some new merchandise up on the Holstein House Etsy shop. We do have a new design up, and I know it won't actually fit for everyone, but it's called unconventionally diverse. It's a design for that has the footprints of humans, which are Wayne and myself, and then we have our dogs, our cats, our chickens, and our duck footprints up there. And it says, "My family is unconventionally diverse." So if you think that's a neat little thing, we've got it on T-shirts, on mugs, stickers, and magnets. So if you'd like to do that, that's over at holsteinhouse.etsy.com. Now, for those of you who might be interested in coming to stay, we do have a promo code for those who are listening to this broadcast. And right now, it's still because it's easier just to roll off one code than a bunch of them. We're using the podcast 5, PODCAST 5. So when you direct book your stay here at Holstein House, you can get 5% off your entire stay. And that includes if you book one of the packages that we offer, that would be 5% off the total booking. I am considering, I need a haircut because my bangs are itching my forehead here. I keep scratching at it. I am considering some other special discounts or promo codes, and um, we do want to start offering stays booked and paid for through Bitcoin. I'm going to have to do that individually, though. And if you prefer to reserve a room with Bitcoin, you can reach out to me independently and I will block the dates off for a small period of time in order um, for me to create the invoice or the QR code and get it to you and you to get me paid. It wouldn't hold indefinitely, probably going to be about a 24-hour period of time so that you can turn around and get that invoice taken care of because I can't keep those dates blocked forever. This is most likely going to need to be at least a week in advance so that we can make sure those dates are open. And then if you change your mind or if something happens and you choose not to book the room can still be booked by someone else. So if you do prefer to reserve a room with Bitcoin and you want to do that here at Holstein House, just reach out to me. Contact information is in the description below. The backyard garden is coming along okay. It's not very good. It's a small container garden. I've got a few cherry tomatoes, a few broccoli, asparagus mixed things. Now, I know a lot of folks like to scream about GMO, but this is going to be an interesting plant. Right now, it has very large cabbage-like, broccoli-like leaves on it. I've got 2 of those plants. I don't know what part you're supposed to eat. If it's gonna sprout like broccoli heads or if it's gonna sprout tall asparagus-looking things, but I'm interested to see how that's gonna turn out. It's currently loving the weather that we're having out there. Rather cool and damp. Cherry tomatoes are doing nicely. It's still kinda early. A couple of those did get, damaged by the chill we had a couple weeks ago. 3 of the 4 look like they're gonna pull out of it. One of them is pretty well beyond hope, so I'm gonna get that one, replaced with some, local, heirloom varieties. Friday is our anticipated pip date for the ducklings. So if Don Drake hasn't, shot some blanks there and creme brulee is sitting on a nest of viable eggs, we might have 8 little ducklings coming out pretty soon. I know she's getting a little restless. She came out first thing this morning when I was feeding everybody. Usually she sits until later in the day, but she got up this morning, ready to have some breakfast and take a quick bath. And I tried to adjust the coop a little bit so that the thing's going to be is when those little fellows are hatched, whether it's 1 or 8. Um, it's going to be easy for them to get out, and I don't have it all set up. I never planned to have little ones, not that little anyway. And when I've brought new chicks or ducklings in, I brought them in from Tractor Supply. I kept them in a cage here in the basement until they were big enough to, with with the heat lamp and everything, till they were big enough to put outside. So it wasn't an issue. Now it's an issue because I never planned on having them hatched out in the coop. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to corral those little boogers until they get big enough to get in and out of things themselves. I don't have much longer to try, and I'm so excited I can't wait. I hope there's a couple anyway, 3 or 4. Don't you know? Don't want to give a chance for the predators to get them. So they need to be able to run and get away from whatever might be coming after them. And I'm just not quite ready for it. Not quite ready for it. We still offer, by the way, I was talking a little bit ago about some of the packages. We still offer the coffee and chocolate package, and it's kind of hard. I have a little 30-second like advertisement thing that I've put up on YouTube and on all my socials at different times, and I've even put them up on Nostr. I don't know how often to do that. I don't want to wear people out, but it does show, and I know I talk about, especially on Nostr, I've been trying to record the from the on the front porch morning. It's just really a weather update, and it's just something to get to to build up the amount of social updates that I've got out there. Regular regular offerings on. I put them on Etsy, or not Etsy, darn it, on TikTok and Clapper and Rumble and all those, just to build the content and help build awareness. And I got on. I've been up until now that the weather's decent. I've been sitting in the kitchen or in the breakfast room and doing them. And I decided, well, it's daylight early enough now. I can go out on the front porch like I'm talking about and say, this morning on the Holstein front porch, it's 69 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, 20 degrees Celsius or whatever it might happen to be. And the forecast is going to be this, and it's a nice day to do that. And so I talk about, if you're traveling to or through West Virginia, come and stay. But then I think, well, why would they come? What is there for them to come and stay for? The packages that I offer, there's not that many. I mean, it's just the one room. I'm not a huge place. I can't offer tremendous amounts of things. But one of the things I like to offer is the idea of the local coffee and the local chocolates. And the local coffee is the Coal River coffee that's um, roasted here locally a few miles from me in St. Albans. And then the chocolates are Hall's chocolates, and they're from Parkersburg. Now, that's almost an hour, depending on what part of Parkersburg you're going to. But still, the way that I would offer it, I mean, it's real. I'm not sure how to package that. So in that little 30-minute promotion, I have a shot of the coffee bag and the chocolates. So it's there. I don't know how often I should run that. So I stumble with that, and I know that there's got to be a little more, but I really want to keep it to 30 seconds or less, and a lot of times I blow that, but I'm not sure how much I can offer. I mean, I'm not going to do anything special for Mother's Day because I'm going to be doing my own Mother's Day. And people aren't coming here for a romantic getaway for Mother's Day. I'm not the romantic B&B spot. So I'm mm, I don't know, uh, a convenient spot to stop while you're here. That's probably not the best way to put it either. So I do want to promote it a little more, but I don't want to, beat people up and have it up there all the time and just wear people out with it. Oh, let's see where I'm at. Oh, it's 20 till. I've got to get to town today, like so many times before. But I've one of the things that I like to try to mention, and I don't do it real well yet, but it's coming along. It's if you're traveling to or let me start that over. If you're traveling to or through West Virginia on the Interstates 6477 or the West Virginia Turnpike, as it's also known, consider staying at the Holstein House. We accept reservations through Airbnb or Direct Book. Direct Book get a better value. It eliminates the middleman because Airbnb takes their money out of there and you're ultimately paying that. And it offers you specials that Airbnb guests can't get. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, the coffee and chocolate package is a special. Airbnb, so far as I know, does not take Bitcoin at this time. Maybe they will, but they're also going to take their fee out of it. So you want to consider staying at Holstein House, go to robinholstein.com and select Holstein House from the menu. And so that's one of the things I try to share and promote. So May 1st, now I did mention this on Nostr. On May 1st was my 1-month Nostiversary. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if they say Nostiversary, but I did. I went from 0 followers to 238, depending on the client you look. And I've decided that once I hit 500, I'll do another drawing like we did on the 50th episode for either a t-shirt or ceramic mug, maybe both, just depends. It might be both. Sometimes it might be both. So if you want to look at the mugs and the t-shirts, you could go over to the Etsy shop, the Holstein House Etsy shop, and look at that. I'm not sure how I would do the drawing because when I did it before, I had everybody on either YouTube or Facebook, and I did it through StreamYard's giveaway giveaway tool, but sorry about it. But I'm not sure how I would do it with Nostr. I don't think if there's a tool that you could put your followers in. Maybe you could do it. I could check the StreamYard if there's a way I can export my followers to an Excel sheet that I could then upload into the StreamYard tool to spin and work. But see, if I did that, they wouldn't be entering to win. There had to be a way to enter to win that would be fair because, I mean, I could like for Mike, I could say, Mike, you're entered to win. And then I could give Mike the thing and then nobody would know. I'm real suspicious of that stuff. I used to work for the state and I'm real suspicious of false or misleading promotions. I think I shared with you one time, I never told you who, and I probably won't still, but I did. You had to, there's a particular YouTuber that I follow. It's a very, very, very popular account. And it was for people who order X amount of things, you're going to get a particular, in your order will be a special item, and we want you to take that special item and do either a short video or a still shot of you using that item, and then the people who do that will be entered into a drawing, and we have $600 to award. Top person will get 3, the next person 2, the third person 1. They never did it. They never did it. I made the purchase, I did the video. They never held the drawing. And that bothers me. That bothers me. But they're very popular. And maybe I missed it, but I don't think I would have missed that. I think they would have made a big deal of, look, we awarded this particular winner all these things. This $300 to this one, that's why you should buy our stuff. But they didn't do it. So there has to be a method for me to. I'm going to look at that StreamYard tool some more and see if you can manually add people so that if the people on Nostr reached out and said, yes, please add me, if they private messaged me and said, I'd love to participate in it, or if I had a hashtag Holstein House rules or something like that, and everybody who used that hashtag could be entered. I'll have to think about that some more. I have to give that some more thought. So I'm going to switch over and talk a little bit about what's going on over at the church. And for those of you who may or may not have ever heard this before, I don't get preachy when I do this. This is not a sermon here. I'm just talking about some of the things that's going on in the church. I'm very involved in my church, very involved in my church. And of course, we've been struggling, like so many other churches, to increase awareness, not just of the fact that we're a church, but that we do stuff at the church and that we can provide community education or community resources or support and things like that. And we want to be a good community member like anybody else, like any of your Little League sponsors or anything. Of course, we're not sponsoring Little League, but we want to participate in community events and be an active part of our community. So we've been struggling for a while, and one of the things that we did is we applied for a grant through the state organization, and we got $1,000 towards our project. And our project is called the John 17:21 Project, and it has to do more with while Christ is telling Peter to feed my sheep, we, being the church, are feeding the community, not just feeding them literally food, but also feeding their minds. So we're working with, I've reached out, and the idea is to have like weekly lunch and learn projects where we provide the food and we bring in a speaker. And members of the community are welcome to come in and learn a skill or an idea or about a program that they may qualify for or about projects or events or things in the community. And I'm really excited because I reached out and have now heard from 2. Now, one of them my congregants already know about. The other one just happened this morning, so you guys are hearing about it before they are. We've partnered with West Virginia State University, not WVU out of Morgantown, but West Virginia State University out of Institute, to provide an expanded food and nutrition program 2 days a week for 6 weeks starting on June the 6th. It's a program that will be targeted towards upper elementary and middle school youth in the attendance area for our local high school, which is Riverside High School. And they'll come in, they'll do like on Tuesday, they'll do an educational thing and we'll give them a little snack. But then on Thursday, they'll actually let the kids put their hands on cooking and making the meals and things that they've been talking about. So I'm really excited for that. I really, really am. I think it'll be a great program for our area. A lot of our younger, kids may they don't teach this stuff in school anymore, and I'm really excited to have this program come out, and work with us at least for 6 weeks, and I don't know if they can extend it anymore or not. Then I just heard from this morning before I went live that, oh, there's a container garden program offered also from the extension program at West Virginia State University, and we're gonna try to work out a way to offer container gardening classes. Now, it's kinda late in the season for some stuff, but we could do small container gardens. I mean, cherry tomatoes will grow anywhere and they'll take over, so cherry tomatoes would be a great one. I don't know that that's going to be one yet because we haven't worked everything out. I reached out to the, program director last week. She got back with me this morning, said, "I'd love to talk to you more," and I said, "I'll get with you this afternoon." But yeah, this is something we can definitely do. So this is gonna be at least a couple weeks, maybe longer if we can get that worked out. So I'm excited to hear about that. Some things at the church are going a lot more smoothly now than they had been. Some of you were listening and putting up with me talking about, how how much struggle we were having through the winter, especially when the heater went out in the fellowship hall, and scrambling around trying to get things set and work around that so that we could keep the building open because the fellowship hall, it's more than just for the church. It's intended to be a place for members of the community to meet, and have activities and food. We have a small kitchen there. It's not the commercial kitchen, so we got to be careful not to upset upset the powers that like to regulate. But it is a full kitchen with the stove and the sink and the refrigerator and the separate restrooms and everything. So we can provide things there for the community, and I'm really excited about that. Um, our our finances are stable. We are not in immediate trouble at all, but I mean, we could be. We could be. But right now, it's very stable. The Lord's blessed us that those things have stayed, where we need them to be. That folks have continued to send in do their tithes and offerings, even though they're not able to always be there in person. That we are getting these things ramped up. I've done a newsletter. Do I have it here? Oh, there's a couple things I was going to show you guys. I didn't. This is just the third one. I put a newsletter because some of our members can't get out anymore, and I want them to stay informed and stay, feeling part of the church still because they are still members, and I can't send weekly things out anymore. There's just not enough of me to do that. So this is just a couple of pages that talks about what's going on, what we're doing. What the Bible study topic. I know this isn't a really good my my black toner was wearing out on this. What Bible study is focusing on, and just some general information for them to have so that they can still feel as a part of the congregation. And so I'm really, really excited about that. I think it's really going on very well. And just a couple of odd things that I was gonna share that I was seeing, as I was getting stuff ready at the last minute. I sell eggs here. I sell chicken eggs and I sell duck eggs. And one of the things that I've always struggled with is I have, everybody gives me their, I just have so many of these things. Oops, I already put the tape on that. These the styrofoam egg cartons. Now, some people will tell you, don't reuse those bacteria. Just wash them out. For heaven's sakes, just wash them out. But one of the things that is bothersome to me is that, it's always got the store bought label on it. And I thought, is there a way that I can create my own? And I did find on Canva, and this is just a general FYI, it's not like I created anything exciting. I did find a template on Canva to make these, to make little, and I need the sticker paper, but to make a little sticker, let me see if you can get that without the glare, to put on these. Probably the styrofoam ones I'll have to tape, but mine just has the Holstein House logo there for those of you who are on the audio, and what it says, that's on the if you're holding it up to the camera on your right, my left, it just says the Holstein House round logo, and then on the right, I created, and I also did this in Canva. It's just a little square. I could actually put it on stickers. I may do that. See, I think better when I'm talking out loud. That says hand gathered eggs, ungraded, because I don't go through and weigh mine and try to make some kind of grade on them. Coop to table, and then I have the Holstein House address and contact information there. And I got a duck on one side and a chicken silhouette on the other. So that's what it is there. It's probably backwards. You probably can't see it. But it's the little coop to table thing. Because there's the big farm to table, and that may be transitioning out. The ag communities were doing farm to table this, farm to table that. And I thought, well, mine's not farm to table, but mine's coop to table because I'm just a little old place. I'm not a big farm. I'm just a little, maybe I shouldn't say just, but I'm a little B&B with some coops, with some chickens and ducks. I sell eggs. I make stuff that I sell. I do jams and jellies and a lot of those little things. Then I also have, and this comes from the other businesses that I've got that I run. I'm always having leftover stuff. So I'll do stickers, I'll do name tags for conventions, I'll do things, and I have pieces and parts left over. And I'm one of those that if it's still good, I'm still going to use it. So I have some round labels, round stickers. I think these are 2-inch. I don't have a ruler here close. I think these are 2-inch. They may be 2 1/4. But I went and, you can make your own QR codes, and I went and made a QR code and put the Holstein House logo in the middle. I think I can make that logo a little bigger in here and not hurt the QR code any. And you just need to use a little bit of software. It's no big deal. You can even use Canva. And I put the QR code to Lightning Tip Me on there. You know how these people have the cash at me at things on their cars. Well, I thought I'm gonna put these on I might put this on the inside window of my car, and so people can scan it and Lightning me. Then I made use some as well and made some labels for some breads and some jams on some white labels that just say Holstein House for stickers, and then for my breads, which now that Mr. Holstein's decided he doesn't want to eat grains, I can still make them. And it says homemade just for you from Holstein House. So those are just a handful of things that some of you guys might be interested in doing for yourself, your own small business, because you don't have to have a big fancy house to do a small B&B. I'm trying to move away from Airbnb, but honestly, if you want to get started, that's a good way to start. You get your place listed up on Airbnb, and you learn to adjust your room rate so that you don't get the less desirables, we'll say, because I've had a few of those. I've had a few of those. One of these days, I'll share again the story of Captain Underpants, but it can be fun, and it can be a way of bringing in a little extra cash into your home. And if you have something like bread, or you have something skills, you can make homemade jellies. If you can have a couple chickens or rabbits or ducks or whatever it is, and you can sell a few of those while you're at it, it's all good, and it's all extra money. And depending on how you manage it, it might be uh well, I don't want to say tax free because that would just kind of be wrong, wouldn't it? I'm not telling you to do it tax free. I'm not telling you to do it by cash. I wouldn't dare tell you to do it by Bitcoin through a QR code. Oh, I would I would never I would that would not be right. That would not be right. Well, kids, I'm going to wrap it up. We're right at an hour. And I always like to keep these right at an hour unless I have a guest or something that we've got a topic going on. But on Tuesdays, I don't tend to do that. Fridays lives are unscripted and anything really can happen. The only thing about Fridays is Dad comes over for one of his lab works at noon. So we usually have only a couple hours to do that, but I'm always willing to listen to folks. And if you ever wanted to come on and talk to me about stuff, whether it be stuff related to Airbnb, stuff related to your church, stuff related to making breads or jellies or chickens and ducks and dogs and cats and all kinds of different things. Or if you're trying to learn to use Nostr like I am and NostrNests and you're just not really sure about it, we can talk about that some too. So I'm going to stop there. And Seth, it was great having you join me over on NostrNests. I'm going to close that one off now. And I thank you. And you come back anytime you see that it's on. You're more than welcome anytime. Uh, you're very welcome. So I'm going to try this to stop room recording and see what happens there. And then we're going to close this off and we'll see you guys another time over on NostrNest. Wait, maybe I need to wait till that finishes up. Is it finished? It might be. It looks like it's finished. Okay, we'll talk to you later over there on the NostrNest. Bye, Seth. So we've got that done, and I'm going to fiddle around with that audio. You have a great week too, Mike, and maybe we'll see you Friday if you can get over here for that. And we will stop there and thank you guys for joining me and come back anytime. Right now, Friday, live, unscripted. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.